Good morning, students. Till now, we had seen the nuclear physics, radioactivity, artificial radioactivity, alpha, beta, gamma, decay, and their properties. Then, in the last class, we had seen about a nuclear fission and nuclear fusion. Example of nuclear fission is atom bomb, and example of nuclear fusion is hydrogen bomb. And the stellar energy we had studied in the last class. Now, we are going to study about the uses of radioactivity. Whenever we studied a definition or an formula in a science that is applicable in today's in our day-to-day life, in that type, in that way, radioactivity, how far it is useful in our day-to-day life, where and all we are using the radioactivity, we are going to see in this, especially in medicine field, agriculture, industry, and archaeological research. We are using the radioactivity. Many radioisotopes can be obtained from radioactivity. These radioisotopes have found wide variety of applications in the field of medicine, agriculture, industry, and archaeology. As I said, the radioactivity is used in medicine, agriculture, industry, and archaeology. In medicine, so many laser treatments where we are using radiations, X-rays, scans, in these and all we are using an radiation, CT scans, MRI scans, in this and all we are using the radioactivity radiations. Then in agriculture, radioisotope phosphorus is used for increase the productivity of crops. You know very well, our population is grows on increasing, so we need the crops production is also to be increased. For that we need an radioisotope phosphorus to increase the productivity of crops. These radiations from radioisotope can use to kill the insects and parasites. As well as the production, we have to safeguard the crops from insects. For that also, the radioisotope phosphorus is used. Prevent the wastage of agriculture products. Certain perishable cereals exposed to radiations remain fresh beyond their normal life, enhancing the storage time. Very small doses of radiations prevent sprouting and spoiling of onion, potatoes, and grams. We know very well the lifetime of tomato is only 1 day, but within a 1 day, it is not possible to make the product to reach all over the city. So we need the tomatoes should be fresh for certain days. For these and all, if these vegetables are exposed to radiations to remain fresh beyond their normal life and their storage time. If the onion is sprouted, we are not able to use that, and the earliest sprouting and spoiling is prevented by using these radiations. This is the one of the uses of radioactivity radiations. Medicines, diagnosis and therapy, in both it is using radioisotopes are used to trace the diagnose the nature of the circulatory disorders of blood, defects of bone metabolism, to locate the tumors. Some of the radioisotopes which are used to as traces are hydrogen, carbon, nitrogen, sulfur. Especially their names are given. Radioisotope sodium is used for effective function of heart. Radioiodine is used for goitre. Radio iron is used to diagnose anemia and also to provide treatment for the same. Radiophosphorus is also used in the treatment of skin diseases. This is the second use of radiophosphorus. Already we saw the radiophosphorus is used in the increase in productivity of crops, and it is also used in the medicine for the treatment of skin diseases. Then radio cobalt and radio gold are used in the treatment of skin cancer. Radiations are used to sterilize the surgical devices as they can kill germs and microbes. This is a very important one because whenever the instrument used for surgery of one person, that should be sterilized. What do you mean by sterilization? Keeping these under the radiations to kill the microorganisms, microbes, to safeguard the uh, instruments, surgical instruments, before using it for operation for the second persons. Then industry, radioisotopes isotopes of californium and americium is used in many industries, smoke detector and explosives in luggages in airlines. So in airlines we are using in detective guns. For this californium isotope is used to find out to detect the explosives inside the luggages, and americium is used to smoke detector. In industries, radioactive isotopes are used as a tracer to detect any manufacture defects such as cracks and leakage. Even the preparation of utensils or some other metallic items, if there is a minute leakages and cracks will be there, using this radioisotopes we can detect where the leak and cracks are there, whether the utensils is having some cracks or leakages. Using these radioisotopes we can find out. Gauges which have radioactivity sources are used in many industries to check the level of gases, liquids and solids. Gauges, you know very well, pressure gauges used to measure the pressure of gases and liquids. Archaeological research, you know that archaeological தொல்பொருள் ஆராய்ச்சி, பழைய பொருளை ஆராய்ச்சி பண்ணுறது. Carbon dating, using the technique of radiocarbon dating, the age of the earth fossil, old painting and monuments can be determined. In radiocarbon dating, the existing amount of radiocarbon is determined, and this give an estimation about the age of this carbon. Carbon has certain age limit to decay. For decaying, the percentage of carbon present on the detective old things calculate the age of that old thing. This is called as archaeological research, radiocarbon dating. Then safety measures. Yes, we are using the radiations for medicinal and also for productivity of crops, then for detective methods. Is this radiations are safe for us, for our body and for the products which we are eating, crops and all. So there is certain limitation. அளவுக்கு மிஞ்சினால் அமுதமும் நஞ்சாகும். So these radiations will be safe and good for us in a certain limitation. If the radiations are exposed beyond that limit, that will cause us some negative effect on our body, even for our food as well as in the explosive detective metals. Then in day-to-day life, you do receive some natural radioactivity from sun. The radioactive elements present in the soil and rocks, the household and appliances like television, microwave oven, cell phones and the x-rays used in hospitals, these radiations do not produce any severe effects as they are very low in intensity. If the radioactivity radiations are very low intensity, that won't be cause any severe effect on your health. The second source of radiations exposure is a man-made. What we had seen till now is the natural radioactivity from the sun. The second source, the television, micro ovens and all, the man-made radiations. These are due to the nuclear reactors and during the testing of nuclear devices in the atmosphere or in the ground. Improper and careless handling of radioactivity material releases harmful radiations in the environment. These radiations are very harmful to the human body. A person who is exposed to radiations very closely for a longer duration is at greater health risk and can be affected genetically. So when you are taking an x-rays or CT scan, MRI scan, you can ask the person what is the radiations you are giving to our body, how long it has to be exposed on your body. Nowadays you are having a Google on your hand, so you can search and find it out what is the radiation which cannot be affect the body or what is the radiations can be allowed to expose our body. That limitations is given under this paragraph 600 or radiations exposure. How old is your mother's head? Any guess? It is nearly 4.54 into 10 power 9 years, around 45 crore 40 lakh years. This is the age limit of our earth. It is founded out by an radiocarbon dating archaeological method. Radiations exposed. Permitted range. What is the permitted range of a radiations. See, when the body is exposed to about 600 or it leads to death. So, the limited is 100 mR to 100 or. The International Commission on Radiological Protection has recommended certain maximum permissible exposure limits to radiation that is believed to safe without producing any appreciable injury to the person. The radiation limit, safe limit of overall exposure to radiation is given as 20 millisievert. The sievert is the per year is the measuring unit of your radiation. In terms of Roentgen, the safe limit of receiving the radiation is about 100 mR. What they are giving in millisievert, here it is given in Roentgen 100 mR per week. What they are given is 20 millisievert. 100 mR per week, the body is ready to expose 100 mR. If the exposure is 100 mR, it may cause fatal diseases like leukemia. 100 mR is good for your health. If it is 100 R, it will cause fatal diseases like leukemia, death of red blood corpuscles in the blood. So the radiation exposure should be 100 mR. That's why I said when you are taking an X-rays, you can ask the person. The person may not be a literated one to do this, or an assistance can handle this. At that time you can ask this, that when the body is exposed to about 600 Hz, it leads to death. Dosimeter is a device used to detect the levels of exposure to an ionizing radiation. It is frequently used in environment where exposure to the radiation may occur, such as nuclear power plants and medical imaging facilities. Pocket dosimeter is used to provide the wearer with an immediate reading of his or her exposure of X-rays and gamma rays. Till now we have studied about an importance of radioactive measures. Then we will be study the preventive measures of radioactive radiations, then the nuclear reactor. These two things are left in this lesson. In the next video I will be covering these two, and today itself we will finish the portion, I think so.